Right, so here's some more variations for the nods and reverse nods. So it's the same concept that we were talking about before. We're trying to not grip through the front of the neck, and we're also trying to maintain that healthy natural curve to the cervical spine. Okay, so quick review. Imagine you have an axis going right through your ears. That's your pivot point, and we're trying to pivot the head on the top two vertebrae. So we're mobilizing the head and we're stabilizing the neck. Okay, so what that would look like is a nod. Good. Back to neutral, nose pointed straight up at the ceiling, and reverse nod. Okay, back to neutral. You can also place one hand under your neck so you can feel that curve, and you shouldn't feel it flatten right out when you do your nod. Coming back to neutral, and it's going to increase a little bit when you do your reverse nod, but it shouldn't be excessive. Okay, so what we're going to add to this is some rotation. Okay, so I'm going to turn my head very slightly to the left, and I'm going to do 3 nods. Back to neutral, and nod. Back to neutral, and nod. Back to neutral, and then 3 reverse nods. Good. Back to neutral. Good. One more nod or reverse nod, and back to neutral. Okay, so that felt pretty good. I'm going to go back to my neutral position where my nose is straight up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to turn about the same distance to the right, and I'm going to do 3 nods. 2, 3, good, and 3 reverse nods. Now for me, because of an old whiplash injury that I had, I have a much harder time doing these with my head turned to the right. It feels very, very, very different, okay? That's not uncommon, even if you haven't had a neck injury, so don't be surprised, okay? Now, if that felt fine, we're gonna go back to the left side. So I was turned to about here last time. I'm gonna try going a little bit farther, okay? And I'm gonna do 3 nods. So this is a little bit more challenging. 3, good, and 3 reverse nods. So really focusing on pivoting just on those top 2 vertebrae. Good. Back to neutral. Okay, I'm going to adjust my ball a little bit here. All right, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the right side, which is going to be even harder for me. So I was about here last time. I'm going to go a little bit farther. 3 nods. Good, and 3 reverse nods. Now I find the reverse nods are much easier for me than the nods. Okay, and back to neutral. Okay, now the other way that we can challenge our ability to do our nods and reverse nods is by adding a little bit of load. Okay, so try something as simple as just bringing your arms up into the air, just like our arm raise position, and we're just going to hold the arms there, and we'll stay in neutral and do 3 nods. And 3 reverse nods. 1, 2, 3. Okay, relax the arms.